This journal entry is dated Sunday, January 25th, 2021. So welcome to David's Journals. It is a cold Sunday night. I never ventured outside today, perhaps. I should have to make myself feel better. I just finished reading only the book, The True Believer, and I finished watching a documentary on the fascinating life of Graham Greene. True Believer was written by Eric Hoffer. The documentary was called The Dangerous Edge. I have to watch it again sometime to get a real sense of the man. I did try to read his Monsignor Quixote, but I didn't like it. Like the power and the glory. In the midst of all the self-searching verbiage is the Christ story. I found myself identifying with Greene not as the great accomplished writer that he is or was, but in identifying with writing as an escape, a place where I know my sense and understanding of life is always welcome. In this way, I understand Greene. As I peruse his opus and the gist of where his opus was going, I see Greene's incredible humanity and deep respect for human rights. I see the Catholic values winning out in the end, and I see why Pope Paul VI was so enamored by his deep sense of humanity. Do we adopt? And I identify with one political, or identify with one political ideology, or to a gospel view that seeks not for tolerance, but for love. In the end, Greene seems to have discovered this power. There is one memorable passage from Monsignor Quixote that has stuck with me, and perhaps it has influenced the way I have chosen to address how I think and why I choose to think and read the way that I do. The passage refers to the lead character, Monsignor Quixote's favorite moral theologian, in the form of one theological tome. It is indicative of intellectual stagnation for me, more than a moral failing or a moral stagnation. When I first read that passage, I did not want to read the book any longer because the characters were too shallow, maybe based on real personalities, but too stagnant to draw me as a reader. Whereas the whiskey priest in The Power and the Glory had a moral, or better, a psychological depth that any reader could resonate because of the human weakness and the honest cardinal demons that the priest struggled with. Right now I am reading 3 novels. One is the translation of Bai Fa Mon Juan, The 11th Son, and a Star Wars novel, Master and Apprentice. The other 2 are by Liang Yusheng and Gulong. When I read the novels and watched the many wuxia-themed movies, I sense the Taoist and Confucian sensibilities of Chinese and Asian culture. The Western themes of love and mercy rarely enter in, but justice and righteousness are more evident in an Asian story. The next entry is from January 3rd, 2022. I finished reading Michael Uslan's book, The Boy Who Loved Batman. This is a genuinely inspired book about a boy who kept his heart always focused on what he loved and enjoyed, comic books. His prose gives evidence that he is a talented writer. He writes with both wit and careful diction to inspire anyone on how to achieve a dream. Nonetheless, what I enjoyed was his fan-inspired way of collecting comic books. The comic books the comics he enjoyed from childhood, the artwork and artists, and the inspired stories of these people who created comics is what he enjoyed the most. His inspirations drove him to make money doing what he loved the most, creating comic book stories for comic book readers and just about everybody else who has seen and enjoyed the movies. Whose Land's book demonstrates what you can enjoy can be your life. The wholesome nature of his family life and his personal integrity shines throughout the book. His tastes are similar to my own. He started collecting early. I started later. Thankfully, I have my own appreciation for what I enjoy, but based on a much smaller budget.